Yes, it ain't gonna be no justice.
When 17-year-old Trayvon Martin died at the hands of George Zimmerman in 2012, protests sprung up around the country, demanding everything from changes to Florida's stand-your-ground laws to gun control.
When do our children get to just be children?
But one of the protests,
Black Lives Matter,
quickly took on a life of its own. The phrase Black Lives Matter was first coined in 2013 by 3 African-American women in response to George Zimmerman's acquittal. But the term didn't gain widespread use until August 9, 2014, when Michael Brown was shot and killed by a white police officer in Ferguson, Missouri. Protesters swarmed the city, holding signs that read, "Black Lives Matter." The overwhelming police response to the protests kept the slogan in the news for days. While Ferguson began to calm down, the combination of social media, ubiquitous video cameras, and the recurrence of African-American deaths at the hands of police meant that it was only a matter of time before Black Lives Matter reappeared.
On behalf of all New Yorkers, I want to offer my deepest condolences to the family and loved ones of Eric Garner.
4 months later, when a police officer was acquitted in the death of Eric Garner, an unarmed African-American man in Staten Island who was choked to death on camera, Black Lives Matter was everywhere.
Justice for Eric Garner! Justice for Eric Garner!
In the days after Garner's death, rallies were held in 5 cities, with protesters calling themselves part of the Black Lives Matter movement. Almost a year later in Baltimore, Freddie Gray, a 25-year-old African-American man, was chased by police and later found in the back of a police van with 80% of his spine severed. Riots ensued and the damage cost an estimated $9 million.
Stand up and say loudly and clearly, Black Lives Matter.
And activists from Black Lives Matter affiliates have since confronted politicians at campaign events.
We're gonna let you on the mic. We're gonna give you the mic.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
The online movement has taken on a life of its own. And unlike a lot of hashtag activism, the Black Lives Matter banner has generated a sustained rallying cry for change and real-world results. When the University of Missouri came under fire for failing to address persistent complaints about racism on campus, Black Lives Matter contributed to protests that toppled the school's president.
Nobody is free until all of us are free. That's the end goal.
The movement has generated some backlash, but the core argument that African Americans aren't treated equally is backed up by statistics that show that black men are killed by police at a higher rate than white men. Until those numbers change, the Black Lives Matter movement isn't likely to go away anytime soon.
Hey NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.
Hello, my name is Izak Urquidez, and this is part of my intellectual AV mix. I chose the theme of racism in America, and well, not just America, just in the world itself. And I chose to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, which in the video before describes how it got started in the Trayvon Martin case. The big thing is on the big Black Lives Matter movement is they wanted change. They wanted and able to be African American in this country be treated equally at a traffic stop or just at a random. Why do police have to profile them just because they're black or a minority in this country? The biggest takeaways I took from the Black Lives Matter movement is they just wanted to create a safer place for African Americans and minorities to live and not be worried about the simple things in life that we shouldn't be scared of just because we are Americans. The movement has caused a lot of controversy, especially this year of 2020 with the killings of 3 major African Americans. And those were the cases that were highlighted in the media, but it goes to show that it's not, those are the ones that were highlighted by the media, but it's not the ones that are just going on. There are so many of these cases going on a daily basis, and we shouldn't just worry about the ones that the media shows, but worry about them all that are happening every day. Black Lives Matter is a movement that should keep going, but it should also be, in my opinion, steered and in a better direction, and not let the outside people influence the movement and ruin what the meaning of the movement really was when they first started. Black Lives Matter is something that we need to support, and us as a country, we need to come together, and we just need to, it all comes down to the simplest thing of becoming good human beings. And you can name facts, you can name statistics, you can say all these things that are happening against African Americans and minorities, but that does not change anything. So the reason I chose this topic is because I've been an activist and all this, and been wanting change, and I wanted to highlight and speak my opinion on this, and along with the video I posted earlier that spoke about the facts of the movement. Thank you.